Okay, welcome to Optical Principles. So persistence of vision, you're going to want to take a few notes on these things, which I mentioned before. So persistence of vision, if you check it on Google or you check Wikipedia, it still sometimes shows the incorrect definition. It was once thought that the brain retained images cast on the retina for like 1/20th to 1/5 of a second beyond their removal from the field of vision. However, that was discovered to not be true. Now it's understood to be a two-part process. One is in charge of determining where things are, and another in charge of tracking where they are. So the vision comes into your brain, and basically persistent vision combines vision processing in two parts of the brain. Again, that definition is basically persistence of vision combines vision processing in two parts of the brain. There's another thing that helps with cinema to see independent images as one. That's the phi phenomena. That's where you've all seen this, like blades of a rotating fan, they sort of form one form, or different hues of a spinning wheel is a single color, or a car. Cars, hubcaps, when they're spinning along, look like one thing, and they often look like they're rotating back. That's the phi phenomena. And that was discovered in 1912. It's also known as the stroboscopic effect. So if you see phi phenomena, remember that's also the stroboscopic effect. Again, that creates an apparent movement from frame to frame at optimal projection speeds of 12 to 24 FPS, or frames per second. So film strips are made up of individual still photographs. It's an illusion of continuous motion that you're seeing. Okay? It's not really one flowing thing. Same with digital. Okay, so film strips are made up of individual still photographs. It's a succession of frames projected on the screen, and that creates the illusion of motion. Once upon a time, films were called flicks. I'm going to go to the flicks, or let's go on and go down to the movie theater and watch some flicks. So that came from flicker fusion. That was the frequency or times per second with which the projection light is broken, and it approaches 50 times per second. In the old days, it was slow, so the projectors were hand cranked and the movie cameras were hand cranked, and so the images appeared to flicker. So they weren't speeded up, they weren't 50 times per second, they were sometimes 24 or 18 or 16 or 10, depending on the speed of the projectionist. So again, early days moving pictures were known as flickers or flicks. So before cinema, there was lots and lots of optical toys and devices. One of them was the thaumatrope. So it's an optical toy that was popular in the 19th century. It's a disc with a picture on each side, and it's attached to two pieces of string. And when the strings are twirled quickly between the fingers, the two pictures appear to blend into one due to the persistence of vision. Now this guy is not spinning them quick enough, so it's the bird and a cage, and it should look like there's a bird in a cage. So on one side is a cage and the other side is a bird. Another optical toy and device is the phenakistoscope. So that was a popular Victorian parlor toy. It was generally marketed for children. It's widely considered to be among the earliest forms of animation and the precursor to modern cinema. The device was operated by spinning the cardboard disc and viewing the reflection of the image in a mirror through a series of slits. You can probably see the little slits right there. So the device, again, was operated by spinning the cardboard disc, viewing the reflection of the image in a mirror through the series of moving slits, and through the distortion and flicker, the disc created the illusion that the image was moving. Women danced, men bowed, animals leapt about, repeating the animation. Here's some more optical toys and devices. This is a zoetrope. It's a drum with sequential animation stills. They face inward around the circumference. The viewer peers through equally spaced viewing slots toward the images on the opposite wall. An open top allows the light to enter and illuminates the images. As the drum spins, the slits provide broken views of the drawings or photographs, creating a strobe effect and the illusion of a moving image. The bottom right down there is a camera obscura. The Latin name means dark chamber, and the earliest versions, dating to antiquity, consisted of small, darkened rooms with light admitted through a single tiny hole. The result was that an inverted image of the outside scene was cast on the opposite wall, which was usually painted white. So for centuries, the technique was used for viewing eclipses of the sun without endangering the eyes, and by the 16th century, as an aid to drawing. The subject was posed outside and the image reflected on a piece of drawing paper for the artist to trace inside. Portable versions were built, followed by smaller and even pocket models. The interior of the box was painted black and the image reflected by an angled mirror so that it could be viewed right side up. So here's a zoetrope that is a 3D one. All these things are known as phase drawings because they're basically drawings. So that the zoetrope, the phenakistoscope, and the thaumatrope are all drawings. Now this one, this is kind of cool. This is a modern day 3D. So let's take a look at this video.